सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। I'll read from verse 47. Page 24. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्थे मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भुः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्योः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते। दूरेण ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणाफलहेतवः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व yoga karmasu kaushalam. So thus in this last verse we are told, buddhi yukta hai, one who is endowed with buddhi. Here by buddhi says samatva buddhi or yoga buddhi, attitude. So one who is endowed with this right attitude. What is the attitude? Lord Krishna said, Siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, sameness of the mind, is called yoga. Siddhya siddhyoho, siddhi means success and asiddhi means failure. So one who has the sameness of the mind, meaning that one who is objective with reference to both, who is not perturbed either way, but is not elated when success comes, and one who doesn't get depressed when failure comes. Recognizing that both are realities of life, and therefore both have to be taken in their own stride. Each one comes to contribute something in my life. Success also comes to contribute something in my life, and failure also comes to contribute in my life. That it is not that failure is something wrong, it's a punishment, or that just because an action is performed and there is failure, meaning that the desired outcome did not come, or maybe an opposite outcome came, you can say that the action failed. But we go a step further and say that I failed, meaning that I judge myself by identifying with the result of the action. This is called the karma phala asakti, attachment to the karma phala or attachment to the outcome is two ways. One is an insistence that karma phala or outcome should be only such and such, meaning that I myself define what success is, what the outcome should be. And when that outcome does not arise, I call the outcome as failure. This is first thing. So it's I who brands the outcome as success or failure, because both success and failure are subjective viewpoint. But Swamiji, world tells me what is success and failure. They tell me if this is your performance, it is called success, and otherwise it is called failure. So whether I like it or not, that's what I am told. Second one. So let us say that the world has an arbitrary standard of what is success and failure. The second step is to judge myself based on success and failure, that I am successful or I am failure. Both of these are the complexes arising from taking the ownership of the outcome. And so I have determined the outcome. Lord Krishna said, Ma karma phala heturabhu, may you not become the author of the outcome, meaning that recognize that you do not author the outcome. You are the author of karma because you have the freedom to perform the action. That's what the free will is. But then you don't have the freedom to determine what the outcome will be. Therefore, number one, to judge the outcome as success and failure itself is a judgment. Outcome is an outcome, karma and karma phala. But here we will have to accept that the world always judges the outcome as success and failure. So we are also obliged to accept something called success and failure, which is so sad. Right from the childhood, these ideas of success and failure are so ingrained in our mind. And that I made the grade, I do not make the grade right from the childhood, so many complexes are created. But that is the unfortunate complex world has. World has this complex that there must be success and there should not be failure. This is what the world has decided. And so they thrust those kind of complexes upon us. This is called success called failure. But that doesn't stop there. You are successful and you are a failure. That's also what the world says. So when the result is successful, I am rewarded. When the result is failure, I am punished. And therefore, I have started branding myself as successful and failure. Lord Krishna says there is no reason for you to do that because you are not the author of the outcome. So that way you can maintain the equanimity of the mind. If I do not brand myself a failure, of course, only if I do not brand myself a success. If I want the credit for success, then I will automatically take blame for the failure. You can't avoid that. So neither do I take the credit for success, giving it to Ishvara, nor do I take the discredit or blame for the failure, recognizing that that's the reality of life. And that's what Ishvara wants. In that case, I can remain free from branding myself as successful or failure. That freedom I have. Even the world says your result is failure. I still have the freedom not to brand myself a failure. And that's a great relief because branding myself failure is most painful thing. And so, thus maintain equanimity to the mind. That failure comes, it comes, it's also reality. That doesn't mean it's the end of the life. Swamiji, it's the end of the life, my job is gone. It may be, then what can you do anyway? What has happened, there is nothing you can do about it. God gave me the serenity to accept gracefully what I cannot change. And the karma phala, the result of the action falls in this category, something that has happened. And something that I cannot change. And so what's the point in either blaming other people, getting angry about it, we get frustrated, we get angry at ourselves, which is frustration. We blame other people, get angry at other people. All of this is unproductive. And therefore, you can maintain the calmness of your mind by not branding yourself as either successful or failure. In which case, of course, we will learn what the outcome is and what to do subsequently. But as far as Lord Krishna is concerned, there is something further. There is no success and failure. There is only karma and karma phala. That's what it is. Karma never fails. Karma always produces the appropriate outcome. Whether it is in keeping with my anticipation or not is a different matter. Then our Swamiji would say that the karma has not failed, it is my perhaps, because when I perform an action, I always estimate what the outcome will be. I predict what the outcome will be. My prediction has failed. What I predicted did not happen. My prediction has failed. And what do you expect? You are limited in every way, meaning that your knowledge is limited. You don't know so many factors which influence the outcome. So many known and unknown variables are there, which many of them you do not know, and having known you cannot control them. And therefore, at the most you can say that the prediction has failed, not I have failed. And our Swami used to say that we are born to fail, really speaking. Inasmuch as we have all the ingredients for failure. In what sense? In the sense that our knowledge is limited. So we do not know all the variables that in fact contribute to an outcome. Our power is limited. Even if you know something, our ability to change it or make it favorable is very limited. Meaning that we have all the ingredients of failure. So then also we succeed is a great miracle. And so that you succeed is a great miracle. That you fail is nothing unusual. If things do not happen the way we wanted them, it is something to be accepted, understood. Because what else can you expect? Anyway, there are many ways of looking at the things. And thus, maintaining the calmness, tranquility, equanimity of the mind with reference to the realities of life. Failure also is the reality of life, success also is the reality of life, and therefore take it in the stride. All of this is important for a different reason. Lord Krishna is teaching all this, for a very higher purpose, in fact. This whole attitude enables us to maintain a tranquility of the mind, enables us to remain free from reactions, and that way my usual tendency to react towards something both ways. If what I expected happens, then also I react with elation. And in the opposite, when it did not happen, I react again with depression. This harsha and sukha, both of these are reactions which keep my mind always unsteady. If one allows oneself to be dictated by the situation, that success, I act like a remote control doll. Success means some button is pushed and I jump up. Failure is another button, then I get depressed. I can never enjoy peace of mind, tranquility. I can never be happy. So Lord Krishna wants us to attain the limitless happiness. And the relative happiness becomes a means of gaining absolute happiness. Relative happiness is a state of mind. Absolute happiness is the nature of the self. But self, which is absolute happiness, can be known only when there is a relative happiness in terms of the state of mind, which is the tranquility of the mind. Thus, Lord Krishna teaches us this attitude called yoga, samatva buddhi, the tranquility of the mind, equanimity of the mind. Then the mind becomes objective. Then the mind can understand things for what they are. Then alone vairagya is possible. So, Lord Krishna continues, why is Lord Krishna teaching this equanimity of the mind? This ability to maintain a poise of the mind, a balance of the mind, in spite of changing situations. For the simple reason that even when everything apparently keeps on changing, there is something that does not change. All that changes ultimately is founded on something that does not change. All changes happen at the level of name and form, which is at the surface. But then, what is the content of name and form? The truth of the name and form is Asti Bhati Priyam Satchidananda, which doesn't change. So reality does not change, the Atma does not change, and to know that reality is the purpose. The whole purpose of teaching of Bhagavad Gita is to gain the knowledge. Knowledge of the self, knowledge of reality. Why is it so? Because it is the ignorance of the self that is the cause of all my sorrow. As we have said millions of times, that there is no cause for sorrow in our life other than our complexes about ourselves, ignorance about ourselves. And therefore sorrow will ultimately go only when the true knowledge of self takes place. But when the relative knowledge takes place, so what is the self? That which is same in all, as Lord Krishna will say later on also. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parameshwaram. The Parameshwara Lord who obtains samam, the same, equal in all of them, who is one in many, who is unchanging and changeless, imperishable and imperishable, who is always the same in changing. That is the truth about myself, and if you know that, there is nothing but peace and tranquility. Nothing but happiness. And so it is this knowledge which enables us to gain truly the goal of life that we are seeking. And therefore, inasmuch as that knowledge requires a given state of mind which is called the tranquility of the mind. So becoming a little closer to the self. So self is absolute sameness. For that we should recognize the relative sameness. So Lord Krishna asks Samatva Buddhi, looking upon success and failure as the same, enables us to recognize the relative sameness in order for us to prepare for the absolute sameness. In that we keep on bringing all kinds of questions about what about my job and what, it's all stuff there, no doubt about that. But understand that here we are talking about Arjuna, who has asked Lord Krishna, Yes Shreyasya Nishchidam Bruhitan me. Please teach me about that which will give me Nishchidam Shreya, Nishreyasa, moksha. So this ultimately has the goal of moksha, total freedom, total liberation by the knowledge. And therefore we cannot all the time keep on judging this thing based on all our day-to-day stuff. What will my father say? What will my boss say? What this fellow will say? Etc. These are the questions that arise all the time when you listen to Bhagavad Gita or Vedanta. These are the questions. But what about this, Swamiji? What about my this and what about my job and what about my income and what about my prestige and what about this? But apparently this teaching is imparted to someone who has a much higher goal than this stuff. If that alone is our objective, then this won't work, I tell you. If you start maintaining samatva buddhi and everything is okay, then you will be wiped out. So Swamiji, he's a businessman, so he wants to maintain sameness of the mind in profit and loss. And then his people also come to know that our master doesn't mind, whether we make profit or loss. In 1 or 2 years, he will be wiped out. Meaning that as far as the Vyavahara is concerned, where my prestige is important, where my income is important, where all these things are important, then we have to follow these values in a manner which is, practical to achieve those goals also. But we must recognize that even after achieving all those goals also, that they have no capability of making me free from sorrow. No amount of success or no amount of accomplishment can make me free from sorrow. And if that is what I want, to become free from sorrow, then I have to recognize something more profound and more fundamental. That ultimately this is being told to me so that I can get absolute peace, absolute happiness. And for that the means is knowledge of the self or knowledge of the reality of life. And that can be only when the things that are not real are slowly recognized as not real. More emphasis I give to my success, etc., meaning that more emphasis I am giving to the unreal things, giving reality to them. Recognize what is ultimately the role in the overall life goal that I am seeking to achieve. So we should have an overview of our life as to what basically it is that we are seeking to achieve and where does all this thing fall in. Then only they will have their real, place in the life. Otherwise they overwhelm me. But anyway, so Lord Krishna says, what is the ultimate result of maintaining this attitude of yoga or equanimity of the mind, or looking at what is same? Success is certainly not the same as failure, they are totally opposed to each other. And what is same about that? So trying to see sameness. What is sameness about that? So our Swamiji said in a very brilliant manner that the only sameness is that both success and failure are nothing but the results of the action. And result of the action is something that is determined by Ishvara. I perform the action, he determines the outcome. Meaning that he gives me the result. And what he gives me is called prasada. And thus, looking upon any outcome as prasada. Prasada means what? Which is meant for my prasannata. Meaning that it is meant ultimately for my good. So whatever comes to me, instead of immediately reacting to that, just because it does not satisfy my expectations, I react, I should see what is good in it for me. Whatever comes to me is the karma phala, result of action, which is given to me by Ishvara. And Ishvara is my well-wisher. And therefore, whatever he gives me, there is an intention on his part, an agenda on his part to help me grow. And therefore, whether pleasant or unpleasant, bitter or sweet, whatever comes must have a reason for helping me to grow, helping me to become purer than what I am, helping me to recognize Ishvara, helping me to recognize the realities of life. That's the prasad buddhi. It's prasad of the Ishvara. And supposedly prasada is that which gives you prasannata. We always receive prasada with sense of gratitude, with sense of being blessed. If that is how I receive whatever comes before me with a sense of being blessed, the Swami gave me a slap, Bhagavan has given me a slap. He does. Sometimes he gives, I don't know. He has different ways of doing things. But then also, if you trust in him, then we'll know that in that also he means well. Sometimes you have to give a slap to somebody. If fellow is intoxicated and just doesn't understand anything, then you have to give perhaps a shock also to make him free from intoxication. Maybe. I give him the benefit of doubt to decide what is right for me. So whatever he gives me is right medicine for me. That is, if only that kind of a trust is there in the Ishvara, then alone we can maintain equanimity, otherwise we cannot maintain. Meaning Ishvara has to come in our life all the time as the karma phala data, as the dispenser of the result of action, and not just a dispenser, as benevolent. He is not just a judge who mechanically gives a result, but he is my well-wisher. And therefore, the way he gives out the result has something in it for me. If this is the attitude of life, where does it lead us? That's what the next verse tells us. Verse 51. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinah janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya namayam. What we meant by earlier thing is that only when it is clear, when the objective of my life is clear, that what the desire behind all the desires ultimately is for moksha or for unconditional freedom. What is desire behind all desires is unconditional happiness. That's what I am seeking. And therefore, all these other worldly things is not I am seeking for their sake. In the world also, dharma, artha, kama, whether it is comfort and pleasure and wealth and fame, etc., that I am seeking, I must recognize that the purpose of them also ultimately is to give me happiness. That I value things in life not for their own sake, but for the sake of happiness, for the sake of the pleased self. So ultimately what I am seeking is a pleased self. Other things are simply a means for that. And the means of pleased self is an attitude which creates a pleased self. And that's what Lord Krishna is teaching. This attitude of yoga, or samatvam, or the prasada buddhi creates a pleased self. And that leads to the absolute ultimate goal called moksha. So here Lord Krishna said, Karmajam buddhi yuktai phalam tyaktva. He buddhi yuktaha karmajam phalam tyaktva. Reiterating what has been said so far, because buddhi yuktaha, those who are endowed with buddhi, buddhi means yoga buddhi. Phalam tyaktva, renouncing or giving of the phalam or the result of the action. Meaning that ideally a karma yogi performs action as an offering to the Lord. Ideally. When he performs an action, it is totally offered to the Lord. With the phala also, it all belongs to you, nothing belongs, I do not want anything from this. A bhakta or a karma yogi, whatever it does for pleasing the Lord. And whatever action he performs is so Ishvara buddhi, meaning that for offering to Ishvara, for pleasing the Ishvara. This is my offering to you. Karma phala also belongs to you. Nothing belongs to me. Meaning that I have no agenda at all, I do not want anything out of this. That's not possible for us right now, but ideally this is what a karma yoga means. Again and again it is explained here that yogastah kuru karmani, may you perform an action as abiding in the yoga, which is Ishvara buddhi, meaning that offering your actions to Ishvara. Then what will happen to me, Swami, if I give him everything, what will happen to me? You mean that I perform action for him? Then what about me? As long as that concern is there, all right, then you take care of yourself, but then it will not be really yoga buddhi. When we perform the puja, etc., what do? We make offering to the Lord, and hopefully we do not ask for any reward from that. Although we do. After puja also we want Ishvara to give us this reward and that reward, and I chant Hanuman Chalisa, this reward, Vishnu Sahasranama, this reward. So it is true that usually we are seeking reward in everything, that including whatever we do for Ishvara, which also is nothing wrong. But that's not karma yoga. That's not bhakti yoga. It is fine. Instead of pleasing the whole world, I am pleasing the Lord, and instead of seeking the reward from the worldly people, I am seeking reward from Ishvara. So there is some kind of bhakti is there. He is called the artharthi, meaning that one who worships for fulfilling his desires. It is all right. But the karma yoga has not started. Just because I perform puja and I do recital, chanting, etc., doesn't mean that I am necessarily bhakta or a karma yogi. Bhakta, of course, Lord Krishna says artharthi, he calls him bhakta. Meaning that even the one who worships Ishvara for artha, means for worldly gain, is also a bhakta. But then Lord Krishna hopes that he'll become a jignasu ultimately. And that at least we can perform some actions in the day without seeking any reward. But Swami, there are so many problems in my life, and so I need this, so many things we need. That's fine. But ideally, a karma yogi is the one who performs action, you take it, and I don't want anything from you. It is cleverer than asking for some reward, really speaking. It is based not to ask for anything, but then he decides what is right for you. When I ask for a reward, then I am deciding what is right for me, which may or may not be so. Understand that what I am right now is the result of what I have asked for in the past. What I am right now is the result of what all I have asked for in the past, and I don't think that we are particularly happy with what we are. So after asking for what I want, this is what I am. So what's the point in continuing that? And let him decide. You decide what is right for me. So that way also it is politically correct. Or with Ishvara also, you can have proper relationship that you decide. And there are instances when, this is a story in the Puranas, that there was one king, his name was Pratardana, the king of Banaras. And he was such a powerful king that when there was a battle between Devatas and the Asuras, or gods and demons, this Pratardana fought from the side of the Devatas or gods and became instrumental in defeating the demons. So Indra, the king of gods, is very pleased with Pratardana. Very pleased with you because you helped us to win this battle. Please ask for whatever you want. Pratardana was very clever. He says, please give me which you think is most valuable. This is called Dharma Sankara. Indra is now in a very embarrassing position because the judgment is left to him. Indra knows what is most beneficial. Only Brahma Vidya is most beneficial. So by asking that, you give me what you think is the best for me, Indra was obliged to give him Brahma Vidya. In fact, you cannot teach Brahma Vidya to somebody who is not qualified, but he already made a commitment to give whatever that fellow wants. And therefore, he had to impart that knowledge. And similarly, let him decide. Why should I decide what I want and what is right for me? Let him decide. Because he is omniscient, Sarvajna, not only benevolent. That being the case, he knows what is right for me. So this is the attitude of a karma yogi, who performs actions as an offering. At least the way we do in puja, when offering to the Lord. Slowly that attitude of puja also percolates slowly and slowly in our life. If not all the actions, at least one action a day we do for Ishvara. Then 2 actions a day. We have said, what is one action a day for Ishvara? Simply with the attitude of contributor. That I do not want to consume anything, contributor. Ishvara in this form, I am doing purely as my offering. Just an act of kindness, an act of compassion. What do I get out of that? You get immediate satisfaction for having done something which is right. So there's this attitude of being a contributor, attitude of being an offerer, and not again trying to exploit that by seeking some benefit or some reward. So let there be few actions every day where you can just offer without calculation of how will you give me the reward. This attitude of all the time having an agenda and all the time in my own mind calculating what is in it for me, what is in it for me, what is in it for me. I must know that as a result this is what I am right now. If I want to change, then this business of what is in it for me, all the time trying to satisfy this self-centered ego, which is like fire, and more I try to satisfy that, more demanding it becomes. It can never be satisfied. Don't think that by giving ego the success, etc., that you will be able to be satisfied. You will always want more and more. And therefore, this self-centeredness, satisfaction of ego or ego gratification is a never-winning game. And therefore, I tell my ego, do this, whether you get something or not. So this is the attitude of a contributor, where the objective is not the gratification of ego. It is gratification of Ishvara in whatever form he appears before me. So buddhi yukta, those who are endowed with buddhi or his attitude of yoga, simply translated as the attitude of a contributor. Simply translated. Contributor is the one who does not seek any reward in return. Meaning that a person performs act purely out of kindness or out of compassion. And because kindness or compassion has its own fulfillment, that you do not need a further reward. So thus, buddhi yukta, one who is endowed with this attitude. Then what will happen? Then it's a matter of trust. Lord Krishna says in the 9th chapter, Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyam. I take care of the yoga and kshema. Yoga means giving them what they need, and kshema is protecting what they have. Giving them what they need, not giving them what they want. So, then this much is what Ishvara has given. So that should be enough for me, because he has given me. But this whole attitude of worship, offering, contribution is what Lord Krishna is teaching. To completely transform myself from always a self-centered person, always seeking advantage, always trying to use others and exploit others, from that a transformation into the one who is now making an offerer to the others. Phalam tyaktva, mani phalam tyaktva, thus having given up the phalam meaning the personal reward. When you perform an action, the outcome will come. But then, I'm not seeking any personal reward while performing an action. Manishinaha, Lord Krishna says, Manishinaha bhutva. He becomes a manishi, he becomes a wise person. Wisdom comes. This whole attitude leads to wisdom of Atma, because the Atma is contributor. Or Ishvara is a contributor, absolute contributor. Ishvara is absolute contributor. Or Atma is absolute contributor. Because Ishvara is whole and complete, and therefore he has no need, and therefore he doesn't want anything for himself. So we become relative contributors to ultimately recognize Ishvara as the absolute contributor. Although in the Vedantic terms we say that as a result of this, as my self-centeredness slowly becomes, weaker and weaker, my mind becomes less and less self-centered, has less and less ragadveshas, less and less impurities, my mind becomes more and more pure, then arises there a desire for knowledge called vividisha. From there again the next step is to go to the teacher and listen to the scriptures and gain the knowledge. All that will follow. So, there is a confidence here that when you undertake the first step, other steps will follow. That when your mind becomes pure, meaning free from rajas tamas, becomes sattvic, then a desire for knowledge will arise. The values will change. Now knowledge will become valuable, scriptures will become valuable, Ishvara becomes valuable, Guru becomes valuable. These people become valuable in a sattvic mind. And then pursue the knowledge. Shravanam, mananam. As a result, manishanaha, you gain the wisdom, become an enlightened person. So what happens? Manishanaha means becomes wise, gains the knowledge. What does that knowledge do? Second line says, Janma bandha midir muktaha. Muktaha means free. Nirmuktaha, nischayana muktaha, definitely free. Vinir muktaha, free once and for all. So, vinir muktaha, that's called atyantika mukti, meaning that liberated once and for all. Because naturally, when there is an abidance in knowledge, then ignorance does not come back, bondage doesn't come back. Because there is no such thing as bondage, really speaking. Bondage is nothing but a notion that goes away, and therefore, vinirmukta, who are liberated, free once and for all. Mukta, free from what, Swamiji? Free from the sense of smallness. Whenever I am seeking a reward, then I am only trying to satiate my sense of smallness. When I am seeking reward, then what I am doing is trying to all times satisfy my small ego, smallness. Once that is given up, then slowly virmukta, become free from all sense of limitation, smallness, meaning that you gain a wholeness, completeness, or absolute happiness or freedom, which is not to be gained, which is nothing but our nature only. It was these wrong attitudes that was depriving me of the benefit of myself. With the right attitudes, I start deriving benefit of my own self. Meaning when Lord Krishna says that it is not that someday this person will become liberated, that he keeps on discovering freedom every step, which culminates into the total freedom. That is why this will generate in us a certain confidence that what Lord Krishna says makes sense when we experience it in our life, that by this attitude of yoga or a contributor, as we discover a self-satisfaction, that I have done something right, I feel there are questions, Swamiji, how about this self-worth and self-respect? How do you get self-respect? How do you get self-esteem? You don't get self-esteem by being consumer and accumulating stuff. You will never get. You get self-esteem by becoming a giver. But that is the trend, that is the law of life. And therefore, more I become a giver, more satisfaction I am, more happy I am, more worthy I am in my own perception. So this freedom is not a one-shot deal. It is not something that will happen someday. It happens every step. And that's what creates Shraddha, trust in me, that I am on the right path, that this is the right thing. Vinirmuktaha, becoming free, Janma Bandha Vinirmuktaha. Here the moksha is described in a traditional manner, that you become free from the bondage called birth. Birth itself is bondage. Why? Because Lord Krishna said, Dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Lord Krishna, we talked about it in the Bhagavad Gita. Mamopetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam na apnuvanti. Here, Jana, once you gain me, then you become free from birth. But Swami, why should I become free from birth? Dukkhalayam. Because birth means it is nothing but the repository of all kinds of pain and sorrow. Why? Because birth means this body. Body means identification of the body and the mind and the intellect. And therefore all their limitations and all, they become my limitations. Therefore nothing but sorrow. So therefore Janma Bandha. So Vedanta explains that moksha means freedom from the cycle of birth and death. That's one way of explaining. What it basically means is freedom from sorrow once and for all. From unhappiness, sorrow once and for all. So Janma here stands for pain, or Janma stands for sorrow. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika. I am under attack from three sides. First of all, attack from my own self. This body keeps on troubling me. Today backache is there, and then headache is there, and stomachache is there, and all something is happening. More than that, my mind is troubling. All the time. So my mind itself does not cooperate with me, becomes a big obstacle to me, keeps fighting with me, and therefore my biggest enemy is my own mind. So mind also is a source of sorrow. Becomes sad, becomes angry, becomes greedy, becomes jealous. Or adhyatmika, the sorrow arising from the individual soul. And of course world will help me. They will always pour salt. When there is a wound, world is ready to pour the salt. So that they will keep on pushing the buttons. That's the nature of the world. They keep pushing the buttons. Thus, Adibhautika. And in case world becomes somewhere, I work very hard to rearrange the world around me so that it is favorable. These fellows are Adidaivika. All planets are there, devatas are there, and they also can create all kinds of unforeseen situations in life. Anyway, this is a way of describing sorrow, that's all. So Vedanta says that sorrow arises. Vedanta means Vedas say that three sources of sorrow. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, Adidaivika. We think everything is going on perfectly all right. And all of a sudden I suffer a fall and head injury. Something happens. You never know. Then you go to an astrologer, says your Buddha is like that, Guru is like that, this is like that. Some Devata is like that. Some planet is not favorable to you. Freedom from sorrow. So, freedom from sorrow also amounts to attainment of happiness. Both of them are, simultaneous. Janma bandha vidurmukta padam gachanti anamayam. Yogi says, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha. You remember this sentence? May all become healthy, may all become happy, and may all become healthy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, may all become happy. Sarve santu niramayaha, may all become healthy. So niramaya means disease or roga. Niramaya means free from roga or free from disease, means healthy. So whether you call it niramaya or anamaya, same thing. Amaya, so padam gachanti anamayam. Lord Krishna says, when attain that padam, that stage, that goal, that destination, which is characterized by anamayam, free from all disease. What disease? Adhyatmika, adibhautika, adidevika. All sorrow, all anartha, all calamities, one becomes free from all the dukkha. What do you mean, Swami? Then he will not fall sick or something? When you say becomes free from adhyatmika, means he will not fall sick? No, he will no headache? That we cannot guarantee. Body has its own thing, and therefore body will behave the way it does. Then what? How do you say is free from sorrow? Free from sorrow is one thing, free from pain is another thing. Pain is the reality of life, and pain is called destiny. So our destiny or karma will bring pain. Sorrow is my own creation. So we distinguish between pain and sorrow. Headache or whatever physical thing is what we call destiny, result of past karma. Even the world also behaves in whatever it does, also destiny. Even devatas also behave in certain way, all destiny. Meaning that there can be pain in the life, even for a wise person also. So anamayam, freedom from all amaya, freedom from all sorrow, all anartha, from all calamities, all sorrows. Sorrow is a state of mind. Sorrow is a reaction of the mind. So I react to a given situation when I reject it. When I feel that I have been treated unfairly, I feel hurt, I feel guilty, this is all called amaya. This is all kinds of suffering. Wise person doesn't have hurt or guilt. No hurts regardless of what, because pain is there. But sorrow is that pain causes in me some lot of insecurity. What will happen to me? Now death will come, what will happen to me? The thing is, when birth is there, the death is always comes along with it. Like the two sides of the coin. Jatasi dhruva mrityuhu. So moment I am born, there is always a question of death. A fear of death is always there in the back. And so you find me, I always take a certain seat in the aeroplane also. I don't sit in the front, I don't sit in the back, because if the aeroplane meets with some kind of a thing, then what? In the bus also, I don't sit right in the front, because if it crashes, then what? Not in the back. If somebody crashes, I sit in the middle. And at the window, so I can run out, or I can jump out. In whatever I do, there is always this consideration of how to take care of myself, how to remain free from death, how to remain free from injury, how to remain free from pain. It's always the back of my mind. You see me walking, I'm always walking, make sure that everything is right. I don't hit something, I don't fall in a pothole. I'm always careful. Meaning that moment birth comes, the body comes, identification of the body comes, and therefore always is concerned about the well-being of the body. It's always there. So that is one thing that the wise person is not concerned about. Not that he is careless about the body. Not that he just falls wherever he is. Not that kind of a thing. But the fear, what will happen? That is not there. Becomes free from fear, free from sorrow, free from reaction. Somebody, suppose he is insulted, suppose he fails. Siddha siddhyo samabhutva. The equanimity in success and failure, they stand for all pairs of opposites. Then honor, dishonor, success, failure, stuti, ninda, praise, censure. Nobody is free from this. Don't think that just because you become wise people that everyone will keep on praising you. There are people who will condemn you also. Not that you will always be honored, that's all destiny. Mana and apmana, honor, dishonor come by destiny. Stuti and ninda, praise and censure comes by destiny. Comfort, discomfort comes by destiny. Sorrow is my reaction. And that the wise person doesn't have. So, padam gacchandi anamayam. Padam means padaniyam padam. That which is to be reached, that which is the goal, which is what he has been seeking, which is what we call the moksha or the liberation, which is free from anamayam, free from all sorrow. So, we have been saying that this is called moksha, where atyantaka dukkha nivrittihi and niritisaya sukha avaptihi. Freedom from sorrow once and for all, and attainment of all the happiness once and for all. But that is our nature. It's not that you are attaining, you are just owning up what there is. So can you imagine this buddhi, simply yoga buddhi, samatva buddhi, prasada buddhi, accepting gracefully whatever happens as prasada of Ishvara, and buddhi of contributor, doing whatever I do as a contribution of mine. Recognizing that I already enjoy so much of favor from other world that it is my duty to return the favor. So while performing action, what is yoga buddhi? The contribution, act of kindness. Let action become my offering. While receiving the result, prasad buddhi, as a gift of God or grace of Lord. This leads us to moksha. So, buddhi yukta, those endowed with this buddhi, is like an escalator. You step in and it will take you. Some escalator is slow, some escalator is fast. Doesn't matter whether it's slow or fast, we will reach there. So, this is how Lord Krishna is praising the Karma Yoga also. We'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Read the verse 51. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantya. So the question is that you are asking us to give up the karma phala, that you say perform the action and offer the result to the Lord. So what do I get by that? So says, by giving up this insignificant thing such as karma phala, you get the most significant reward, namely moksha. So the way the verse, the Anvaya or the prose order is Buddhi yuktaha karmajam phalam tyaktva manishina bhavanti. Buddhi yuktaha, those endowed with buddhi, which is the samatva buddhi, prasada buddhi, ishvara buddhi. Buddhi means attitude, involves both kinds of attitudes. While performing action, the ishvara buddhi, that I perform action as an offering to the Lord, as a contributor, as my offering. Perform actions out of the kindness or compassion towards others. And when the outcome comes, when the result comes, I accept it as the prasada of the Lord, as a blessing of the Lord. Whatever the outcome may be, success or failure, I do not distinguish between them in terms of do not react to them, but then my response is the same to all the outcome, namely, it is the prasada or blessing of the Lord. Meaning that while performing action, also Lord is in my mind, that I offer my action to Him. And while receiving the result also, the Lord is very much in my mind, I receive the reward from Him. Manishinaha. So Manishi means an intelligent person. Here intelligent means one possessed of the knowledge. Intelligence is knowledge of Brahmajnanam, the knowledge of the self, knowledge of Brahman. So as a result, they become Manishi, they become wise persons. So those who thus entertain this attitude of karma yoga while performing action, while living life. So thus this is the mindset that you have. Our Swami used to say, living a mind with prayerful mind, meaning always being conscious about Ishvara. Elsewhere also Lord Krishna says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhyacha. Therefore, hey Arjuna, while performing your duties, while performing your day-to-day activities, sarveshu kaleshu, at all the times, mamanusmara, please remember me. Remember me as a karmadhyaksha, as a witness of all the actions. Remember me as the one by whose grace action becomes possible. That you have the Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Kriya Shakti, the power to know, the power to will, the power to act. Understand that these powers are given to you by Ishvara. Then whatever I possess, a gift given to me by Ishvara, I appreciate the grace of Ishvara that is constantly flowing in the life. And that brings about also a sense of gratitude in our mind. So that is how when we realize the favor that is done to us without asking for it, then all the time seeking, extracting benefit from my action also will go away. I realize I'm already benefited. And so, keeping Ishvara in the mind all the time, as the karma adhyaksha, while performing action, he is a witness of the action. He is the one by whose grace action is possible. Really speaking, in the 11th chapter, Lord Krishna will show that it is I who does everything. People feel that they are doing it. And therefore, Arjuna was actually shown as to how Lord Krishna said that understand that all the warriors by being in all these armies are already killed by me. Maya vaite nihata purvameva. Even before the war started, before the war will start, they are already gone. I already taken away their life. So you just have to kill, you just make a show, that's all you have to do. People will think that you have won the battle. In fact, battle is won by the grace, whose grace it is won. So become a nimitta, become an instrument in my hand. So Karma Yoga is an instrument in the hand of the Lord, also understands. That really what is done by Ishvara, Who has given me the knowledge, who has given me the skills, who has given me the power, who has given the opportunity, who has given me these attitudes, all giver is Him. And so, I'm very happy that I'm an instrument in His hands, that I've been chosen to do this work. It doesn't matter what the work is. Lord Krishna doesn't describe what is the nature of action. It's just duty. What is meant by karma is duty. Duty means what is the right thing to do in a given situation. Play your role and do what is right and avoid what not convenient, what is right. So that is called karma. Whatever you do always what is right, follow your values and this attitude. So this is a very simple thing really. Here Karma Yoga's teaching, which brings about a total transformation within ourselves, is a very simple teaching. That while performing action, do what is right, meaning follow our values. Don't violate the values of life. And also while performing action, remember by whose grace all this is happening. What enables you to do what you are doing? Recognize that doing anything is a privilege. Don't look down upon your duty. This is an inferior duty, a superior duty. There is no inferiority, superiority. Duty itself is your privilege. That you are a human being, that is a great privilege. He alone can perform karma. Karma means a deliberate action only human being can perform, other creatures cannot perform. So much grace we are enjoying. Jantunam nara janma durlabham, even being born as a human being, to have human embodiment itself is rare, is a great gift. Devanugraha hetukam, it comes only by the grace of Ishvara. So appreciate the grace of Ishvara, constantly flowing in your life. Swami, the heart goes lub, dub, lub, dub, lub, stop, dub, stop, lub, stop, dub, stop, lub, stop, stop. That is gone. So that love and dub comes, there is a grace involved there. In stop, and it starts. So when they perform open heart surgery, that thing is always there, it kicks on. Generally it works out all right, but then it may not kick off, isn't it? That heart lung machine is working and this heart is to kick off. It's all grace. So be humble. Appreciate Ishvara's grace. Recognize that what you are and what you do is all by His grace. Endeavor, remain humble, be an instrument in the hand of the Lord, and act as His instrument, and do the best that you can do. Do what is the right thing to do. Simple, no big deal. That makes us a karma yogi, makes us bhakta of the Lord. And whatever result comes, that difficult part is confronting the outcome, which is where our reactions also come. So outcome is also given by Ishvara. So that is how, keeping Ishvara in mind. Ishvara's knowledge requires the attitude of worshipping Ishvara. So how to make karma and all your life as nothing but a process of worshipping Ishvara. Swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. Make your karma, the duty itself, as an archana, as a worship of the Lord. Janma bandha vidirmuktaha, you become free from the bondage of the nature of birth and death, meaning free from all the sorrow. Anamayam, you attain that padam, or the goal, or the abode, which is free from all sorrow, free from all evil. Anamayam, free from all diseases, all mental disease, meaning all sorrow. Thus you achieve the cessation of all the sorrow, and that also is equal to attaining all the happiness. You attain moksha, the goal of your life. In between, knowledge will come. Lord Krishna doesn't even mention that. If you read literally, what he says that phalam tyaktva manishana bhutva, just giving you a karma phala, you become wise. So we Vedantins add in between. that wisdom requires a guru, So we add that this attitude brings about antahkarana shuddhi, purification of mind. As you said, when your mind becomes sattvic, that arises vividisha, desire for knowledge. To fulfill that desire, you go to the guru and sit at the feet of the guru, serve him, learn from him, gain the knowledge. So I guess Lord Krishna he's implied all of this. This will happen and you'll get the knowledge and attain the goal of your life. So a question is asked here. So when will that knowledge, what is the process of the knowledge taking place? What will happen? So here Lord Krishna just said that you perform action in attitude of yoga, you get moksha. But what happens in between? What's the process? So then next verse describes that process. So the question always, Swamiji, am I making progress or not? How do I know? So Lord Krishna tells us here also, some of the gives us a little map and some highlights. Yada te moha kalilam buddhir vyatitarishyate tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Okay, so look at the translation. Yada, when te buddhi, in Sanskrit they have to connect the words properly. They may not follow in the same sequence, so we have to find the sequence. It's called the prose order or anvaya. Yada te buddhi, the word te connects with the word buddhi. In between there is moha kalilam. Te does not connect moha kalilam, te buddhi. Yada te buddhi, when your intellect tarishyati will cross over moha kalilam, impurity of delusion. When your buddhi or the intellect will cross over the delusion, impurity of delusion. Yada te buddhi moha kalilam vyatitarishyate. When your buddhi or the mind will cross over all the turbidity. So this process enables us to become free from all turbidity. Turbidity, you know what is turbid? Means impure. Lot of muddy. So right now the mind is muddy. With mud, with impurities. What is that mud or impurity? Moha kalilam. Moha means delusion. Or moha means aviveka, which means that seeing something which is not there and failing to see something which is there. In the rope snake example, seeing the snake which is not there, not seeing the rope which is there, and seeing the snake which is not there, this is a typical example of moha, aviveka, translated as delusion, but understand moha. So we are born with moha, unfortunately. We are born with moha means ignorance, and the delusion born of ignorance. What's ignorance? Not knowing the true nature of myself. What is my true nature? Limitlessness is my true nature. So like rope snake, not knowing the rope is rope and taking that to be snake, similarly also not knowing myself, the limitless that I am, and further taking myself to be a limited being. So this is moha that we have in our life, that we do not know that limitlessness is our nature, wholeness, completeness, limitlessness, happiness is our nature. And contrariwise, we take ourselves unhappy, limited, bound, helpless. That's how we take ourselves to be. Meaning that this kind of complexes or notions or conclusion that we are entertaining about ourselves is called moha. The self-judgment, self-opinion, the complexes about myself. And what's the basic complex? That I am a limited being. And then the natural limitation keeps on, manifesting different, limited in time, limited in place, limited in knowledge, limited in power, limited in this, limited in every way. And who says I am limited? The one who is limitless says I am limited. One who is the nature of Ananda says I am unhappy, I am sorrowful. Meaning that I take myself to be quite contrary to what I am. My notion about myself is nowhere near the reality of my life, unfortunately. That is a gift. That's called moha. Or call it gift or a curse or whatever you call it. We are born with that. That is why this janma. Janma means birth. Birth is not just a birth. Birth automatically means identification of the body. Simple birth with the knowledge that I am Atma, I am Satchidananda and body, I am different from body, that birth is all right. Birth means born with the habitual identification that I am the body, I am the mind. And then, since body has birth and death and old age and disease, so I was born, I will die, I am old, I am diseased. I am the mind, so mind is sorrowful, I am sorrowful. Mind is happy, I am happy. So identification with body, mind creates all kinds of sense of smallness, limitedness, dependence, helplessness, sorrow. So this is called moha kalilam. This is a turbidity in the form of various complexes or notions that I am entertaining about myself. Now this brings further turbidity. When I see myself as a limited being, as a small limited one confined to this body-mind complex, one among many, and therefore insecure, so I also feel a sense of insecurity. And always therefore feel the need to have to defend myself and protect myself. As though the whole world, I have to watch out. You never know what it will do to you, how it will treat you, and therefore always, in the words of Swami, ninja, ready to fight. Now that creates other turbidity. I find that some people help me, favorable to me, therefore they become source of my security, and therefore I hang on to them. So this is called attachment. Attachment is what? Hang on to something. When that is there, then I feel comfortable. You are not there, I don't feel comfortable. So when this person is there, I am comfortable. When this object is there, I am comfortable. When this wealth is there, I am comfortable. So I see comfort in many things because the need to feel comfortable makes me see comfort in many things. So whatever I look upon as source of comfort, I don't really like them, I am attached to them, meaning that I become dependent upon them. I cannot do without them. The idea of a separation from them makes me miserable. What will happen to me? That's called attachment. And opposite is aversion. Those who come in the way of my attainment of that, I'm attached to this is important to me, anything that comes in my way of holding on to this, there is an aversion. So attachment and aversion. So first, ignorance. Ignorance brings about the identification of the body. That brings out this own sense of smallness, individuality, ego. That brings about insecurity. That brings the need of security. What do I look upon as source of security? Attachment. What do I threaten security? Aversion. So raga dveshas. All these turbidities are in my mind. Can you imagine how can we enjoy peace of mind when all this stuff is inside there? Then we can attend some workshops of how to get peace of mind. Then they will tell you do pranayama, do some yoga, do this, that. But all this stuff remains inside. So what causes all the disturbance and agitations, as long as that stuff remains inside, avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, all these kleshas remain, then some kind of a palliative treatment is all right. Watch your breath and it's all good to do that. But nothing can solve the problem as long as the basic problem is there inside. So that is where Lord Krishna provides a solution of reversing this whole thing. That ignorance of my problems and knowledge should become solution. How does knowledge become a solution? Ignorance creates in me certain attitudes, and therefore opposite attitudes will become knowledge. You follow? If ignorance creates in me an insecurity, then the attitude of security is knowledge. If ignorance creates aversion, as attachment, aversion, then opposite that is called knowledge. Therefore, in 13th chapter, even these values are called etad jnanamiti proktam. So this attitude of yoga itself is called jnanam, because it leads to jnanam. It removes ignorance in the form of raga dveshas. And so living life based on knowledge, or we can call it viveka or discrimination. Being born with ignorance makes me live the life of aviveka, non-discrimination, meaning that I give importance to things that are not important and I overlook those things that are important. And so that is called knowledge, recognizing what is important. Values are important, attitudes are important. Karma phala is not important. Karma is not important. The attitude towards karma is important. Karma phala is not important. Attitude is important. So karma, whatever duty God gives me is all right with me. What is my attitude? I use that as an opportunity to make a contribution. But Swami, you have to wash dishes. How can I be karma? All right. You can do that action also. Lord, this is, my offering to you. What else can I do? This is what you have given me. So you can be dishwasher, you can be sweeper, you can be digging ditches, or you can be a CEO, you can be president, you can be anything in the whole range. Depends on the prarabdha. What kind of duty comes to us is all determined by prarabdha or the destiny. Whatever he gives. I have no complaint. But Swamiji, I am such this drudgery I have to do all day, every day I have to do all this monotonous work. Whatever is there in my plate, what they call it, this is fine. It is not what I do that is important, it is the attitude with which I do is most important. What makes it yoga, what makes it knowledge is the attitude. So therefore, every action or duty comes to me as an opportunity to maintain the right attitude. So moha kalilam. Thus all along I am deliberately adopting the values and attitude that are opposed to ignorance. Whatever ignorance has created in my life in terms of attachment, aversions, a sense of inferiority, a sense of smallness, a sense of self-dissatisfaction, I now adopt a process by which I discover self-satisfaction. An important thing is that satisfaction doesn't come as a karma phala, not from outside. As I have the attitude of offering, I discover satisfaction from myself. So Lord Krishna says, tap the happiness where it is. You are trying to tap happiness from things that don't have happiness. You are happiness. Tap happiness from yourself. You are satisfaction. Tap the satisfaction from yourself. How? By this right attitude. Right attitude creates satisfaction in me. That's a guarantee. Moment I am a contributor, you have to feel happy. If you don't feel happy, you have to close his books. Any small act of contribution, without any agenda, simply for being helpful, simply for favoring, assisting somebody, helping somebody, and feeling obliged, not that I am obliging somebody. Our Swami would say that even when you give dhanam, charity, you are not obliged, you feel obliged. That here is a person who is ready to receive. Because for you to give, that person his hand must be lower and your hand is upper. Who will put his hand lower? He does it. Then you have something to give. That also is a great gift. There is somebody to receive, that you have something to give. Enjoy this. Oh, I have to give something, Swamiji, and he took away something, he really took advantage of me. All this business of all small-minded people took advantage of me. Nobody can take any advantage other than your prarabdha. If it's not in the prarabdha, it will go anyway. If it's the prarabdha, it will remain. So let Ishvara manage that. Who takes advantage, who does not take advantage, Ishvara manage. Give them the advantage. What's the big deal? No, Swami, he took advantage of me. Good. Somebody will take advantage of you. If you have something, then somebody can take advantage. But we are we're hanging on, holding on to things so much that I can't let go. Let go. Moha Kalilam, all this Kalilam, this turbidity of holding on to things out of insecurity. Letting go requires me to adopt the spirit of security. Otherwise I can't let go. So progressively I become more self-secure, more self-assured. More I discover the order in the life. These are all right now theory. It becomes a practical experience for me that there is something called Ishvara. That indeed he takes care. That indeed I don't have to worry. Right now I make it, I fake it. There is nothing to worry. Although inside there may be, but nothing to worry. I fake it. But you make it. You realize that there is nothing to worry. That things will be all right. What if this happens? Suppose let it happen. Then what if this happens? We keep on mind saying that then if I give them, what will happen to me? Oh, my house, go to an apartment. Big car, take a small car. Car, take a bus. Walk. Whatever. You always have options. When we didn't have all these things, we were living anyway, There was a time when nothing was there, and still I was okay. And now I have all these things. How can I do without them? Not that you will have to do without, it's not going to take away. But in case, that's what the mind always, the worst case scenario the mind constructs. If I have to give $1, worst case scenario, he's taking advantage of me, then he will take this, then he will take that, and then as though I'll be ruined, So, this moha, this is all kalilam, all this is turbidity. And unless we adopt the right attitude, this turbidity born of insecurity, self-centeredness will never go. So yada te moha kalilam, how this whole path or the attitude based on knowledge. What is the knowledge? What is Ishvara? What is grace of Ishvara? What I am is Ishvara. I am also grace of Ishvara. What I do also is grace of Ishvara. It's all Ishvara alone does. I am only an instrument. That's the reality. Slowly that will become clear. It will become our experience. I will see this fact that yes, is it right? What is it Ishvara? It's grace. That I am also an instrument in his hand. So, moha kalilam yada te buddhi moha kalilam vyatitarishyati. When your buddhi or intellect or mind will thus progressively become free from this inner turbidity, inner impurities. How do I know, Swami, that my mind is becoming free from turbidity? In the second line, Lord Krishna says, Tada gantasi nirvedam shrutavyasya shrutasya cha. So Lord Krishna is the word nirvedam. Tada gantasi nirvedam. Gantasi means you will attain nirvedam. What is nirvedam? So those who are familiar with Upanishads know this word. Parikshalokan karmachatan brahman nirvedam ayat. So when a contemplative person really thinks about the life, then he discovers a dispassion. So nirveda means vairagya. What is vairagya? Freedom from raga and dvesha, attachment and aversions. What is attachment? Dependence. What is aversion? Dependence. Attachment means I am dependent upon somebody else for my sense of well-being. That if I don't have the favor of that person or thing, then I am unhappy. Aversion means again I am dependent on somebody to favor me by not interfering. Attachment and aversion, both are nothing but dependence. So you will become free from this. You discover an inner freedom, discover an inner strength, discover a self-worth. Nirvedam. Meaning that your needs will become less and less. Start becoming free from need, and less the need, less the dependence. More the need, more the dependence. Less the need, less the dependence. But Swami, how to become free from need? By discovering a satisfaction from yourself. They say, with the right attitude, I start feeling good about myself. I feel I'm all right. I become worthy in my own perception. I become comfortable with myself. I become happy with myself. Thus I gain inner happiness, inner security, and therefore less and less need for security, external security. So less and less freedom from, more and more freedom from dependence. This path to freedom this is how. Tada gantas nirvedam. Here Arjuna, in course of time, will find freedom from the need. As you discover satisfaction within yourself, you will become free from the need of securing satisfaction from outside. As you gain self-gratification, become free from need of finding gratification from elsewhere. You become less and needy, less and less demanding, less and less expecting. Your demands, expectations, needs, desires will automatically drop off. This process. So how do I know I am making progress? I know it. To what extent I am comfortable with myself. To what extent I have become less needy. To what extent my expectations are going down. To what extent I am able to accept people in life as it is, without having to manipulate others. To what extent? No manipulation. That I can accept gracefully as the things are. Nirvedam. It's called vairagya. Freedom from raga dveshas means accompanied with inner satisfaction, inner comfort. Tada gantas nirvedam. Shrutavyasya shrutasya cha. Shrutavya, that which is to be heard. Shrutam, that which is heard. Shrutam, that which is heard. You know, shru means to hear. Shrutavya, that which is to be heard. So these are technical words. And again, this is said in the context of the Vedic times. That in those days, the source of our information and knowledge was Vedas. So Vedas tell us what all is there in this world and what all is there in the other world. So Vedas tell us that there is heaven where all these kinds of pleasures are available. This Shravanam, this hearing, this is what I learned from Vedas only, because I have no way of knowing if there is a heaven or not and what there is in heaven. And Shrutam, I myself experience in this world also that there is wealth in terms of cattle and there is power, and so this is what I have heard. Meaning that all the objects of pleasure and security that I know, and the objects of pleasure and security that are attainable as Vedas tell us, here and hereafter, in this world and the other world, while I am alive and after the death, whatever can be the source of happiness and security is all included Shrotavyam and Shrutam. Nirvedam Gantasi you will gain a dispassion of freedom from the need of what is available in this world as well as what could be available in the other world. In Vedas also there are very, mouth-watering descriptions of heaven. Because people are fed up, tired, with this, things available in this world. But therefore, we always look at a place where here Swamiji, I get pizza all right, but then I have to spend this much money, I have to go there and pizza also. And sometimes the taste is right, sometimes it's not right, some is too hot, then other problems in my stomach, etc. So, all happy and pleasure is associated with some kind of pain. There is no pleasure without pain. Some price you have to pay. You cannot get anything without paying some price. Is it not so? So I want happiness without price. That's called heaven. Heaven is happiness which is unmixed with any unhappiness. Here all happiness is mixed with unhappiness. We generally overlook that unhappiness and only pay attention to happiness. Therefore we think that, but if you take into account the price you have to pay, you may find that you are paying more than what you are getting. So we look for happiness where nothing is no pain. That is heaven. Lord Krishna says heaven also is nothing but another version of this world only. But that also we get because of a karma. Nobody gives anything free. Even here also, any little pleasure that I get, when I enjoy ice cream, then I think ice cream gives me happiness. Doesn't give you happiness. What gives happiness? Your puro punya gives you happiness. Your past virtuous deed is fructifying, then ice cream can give you happiness. If it doesn't fructify, then ice cream will not give you happiness. Who brought the ice cream? He brought, I don't want it. Sometimes we reject things because who gave me? Who placed it? I don't want that person. If papa karma comes, then my mind will reject anything. If punya karma is there, then only I enjoy. So really meaning that whatever pleasure we get, we do not get from those things, it is a result of my punya karma. And whatever pain I get, sorrow I get, is all papa karma. So Lord Krishna says that setup is not very different in heaven also. There also what you get is by punya karma. And once the punya karma is exhausted, you're back here. Kshene punyam, you do not get, and there's no free lunch in this world. No free lunch. Not iota of happiness free, it doesn't come. I must have done something in the past to earn this. You have to earn it. And then now slowly as our earning exhausts, Swami, now I can't, my blood has too much sugar, all sweets are gone. So that means our earnings are slowly getting exhausted, And now I can't eat this, it creates gas and so whatever I was enjoying slowly, now my eyes, I can't watch movies also, I can't do this also. So you can see. Objects of pleasure are there, but I can't enjoy them because something else is required to enjoy them, which, I am exhausting. Anyway, you don't have to, this is a general description, but the thing is that it is punya karma that gives us pleasure and papa karma gives pain. Nobody gives me pleasure and nobody else gives me pain also. If my papa karma is there, anything will cause a pain. My papa karma, then my little child also, he does something, he's just playing with a ball and comes right on my head. It can happen. One child shot his father, he was playing with a gun. So, is punya karma or papa karma? Whatever is fructifying. Somebody will become, a nimitta for some pain to come. All I'm saying, don't worry about this thing. The thing is that it is, so therefore Lord Krishna says, live the life of punya karma. What punya karma? Two kinds of punya is there. One punya that is opposed to papa karma, other is punya is not opposed to that. One punya karma that gives us the pleasure here and gets exhausted. Other punya karma that removes my past papa karma. So when we perform a good action also, the punya karma is there, but if it is self-centered action, it will give you happiness or pleasure and get exhausted. The punya karma that you get without asking for any favor will eliminate or neutralize the papa. So punya does not neutralize papa. Nishkama karma, punya born of nishkama karma neutralizes papa. That's all turbidity, all raga dvesha, all of this is past papa, all getting neutralized. You discover inner sight. What is vairagya? Inner happiness. Freedom from need. Not that you create aversion for the world. In fact, relation becomes healthier and healthier. So vairagya means dispassion, then that means what? There is no attachment at all. Now what is life? Attachment is not healthy. Attachment means that again, I expect some favor. What is healthy relationship? That I'm happy with the way thing is. And I'm happy to contribute. Tada gantas nirvedam shrutavyasa shrutasya cha. All that is available in this world as well as whatever is available in the other world, you will become free from need of all of those things. They are there, I don't need them. Not that you develop any kind of an aversion. Swami, then does it mean that you hate the world? Vairagya means no, you love the world. Attachment also is distortion, aversion also is distortion. This person has a healthy relationship that he loves everybody. So this is the result of karma yoga. Lord Krishna says that when you thus live the life of this right values and attitude, slowly this internal inner transformation takes place. You discover yourself to be a happier and happier person. Happier with yourself and therefore happier with others also. Become a happier person. So here, in simple terms, Lord Krishna is just telling how to be happy. Moksha will come someday. But we don't have to wait for moksha to be happy. It comes at every step. And then next we will tell us what the next further step from this has happened. Then we'll take up the next time. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.